which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We have no guests tonight, so we will move along to 4.01, correspondence and public participation. This is the point in the meeting for comments on matters not already on the agenda. Comments on agenda items will be accepted when that item comes up during the meeting. Interested persons may submit views in written form to the clerk or superintendent prior to the meeting, and those comments will be brought to the attention of the board during the meeting. Do we have any public participation?
Good evening. I'm here to request to be on the next board agenda.
Okay, can you state your name?
My name's Christine Grant.
Okay.
It's the first time, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Christine.
Here to request to be on the next board agenda to discuss a few concerns. An employee with Colstrip, currently hired, and with the article that came out on June 8th. Can't name names, right?
No.
Okay. Board members defaming parents for a particular activity season during an active Title IX and criminal investigation. And board members leaking information to community members that should be confidential. Again, I request to be on the board agenda for the next meeting.
I would recommend that would be a 1700 complaint, if that's what you want to do, because none of those are actionable items, and that's what goes on the board meeting. So I would recommend following the grievance procedure or the complaint policy.
Okay.
Just because if it comes to the board meeting, there's nothing, if it's not an actionable item, it doesn't go on the agenda.
So I was told that we would maybe get an executive meeting.
If there's something to act on, but I don't think there's anything to act on if you're just wanting to discuss it. Because if you follow that complaint procedure all the way through to the end, then the end step, if it's not resolved before then, is the board. And that would be in executive session.
Okay.
So yeah, I would start with the beginning and then work through the process.
Okay.
I can send it to you, Christine.
Okay.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Ada Graham, and this is also my first time speaking. So I have a student that I'm trying to enroll. I did miss the deadline. I contacted Lisa Blevins, and she said she submitted a letter that was going to be reviewed or discussed today, and I don't know if I didn't see it on the agenda. So I didn't know if now's the time to speak about it or.
I haven't received anything.
I got a letter from Lisa,
Okay.
but I don't recall her asking it to be on the agenda for the board. It was just a recommendation to Steve.
Okay.
So, but I can get it to you guys.
Okay.
Came to Steve and me, I'm pretty sure it came to both of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you'll reach back out to her.
Yeah.
So when can I expect a reply or a response? And
So did you get the letter from Lisa too? The
I
same
did
one?
not.
Okay. Yeah, I can send that to you
Okay.
tomorrow,
Okay.
tonight.
That is perfect.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm done.
I got your email. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, if not, we'll move on. 5.01, consent agenda.
I move that the Colstrip Public Schools approve the consent agenda as presented, with the correction to the minutes listed for May 20th, 2026.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Go to the vote. Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Board governance calendar.
So this will go with one, and there's no discussion on this. And then this is our governance calendar.
Click on there.
Yep. And then this is just kind of a guideline for us of what needs to happen in which months.
Oh,
So if you click on that, then you can see. If you scroll down to June, you'll see what we should be covering in June. And if you do Control Plus, it makes your screen bigger. I have to make mine bigger. It's too small.
Okay,
oh,
we need to do textbook adoption, is that correct?
We don't have,
We don't have any?
no.
Okay.
There was those that were brought to steering by music a couple
Okay,
months ago, so that was,
that's the only ones.
so, yes, I'm trying to think if there's any others right now.
so do we have textbooks for most every class already? They're in place?
Yeah, we go through an adoption, there's a cycle, and music had it this year, language arts had it last year. So then they had new textbooks, but we didn't buy any other than what the music requested this year.
Does anybody have anything else?
I have the permission to pay June and July bills. That's been on there forever, but it's because we didn't have a July meeting. And now that we have a July meeting, I take all the consent agenda to that one, so you guys approve all the bills paid in June. Okay, so I don't think that's needed anymore, but I would
Okay.
like to maybe change it with what I have on the agenda tonight, whereas to approve any transfers that I need to make once and then you guys, doesn't mean you have to say yes or no, but it's a reminder to me to ask. So if you guys are okay that maybe we swap that, if that's okay?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good with that. Okay, anything else?
Are bus routes on this time?
Bus routes are not on this one.
They have their meeting in July.
Okay, so maybe that should be
Moved to July.
or end of June.
Yeah, they're just starting to work on them. I talked to Rich about it a little bit today, so.
Okay.
We're gonna hit next week.
Yeah, it's pretty early.
Okay. All right, new business, 8.01.
All right, like to bring a recommendation to the board for a certified teacher for the upcoming 26-27 school year, Jeremy Brett Emmons for district special ed teacher.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves Jeremy Brett Edmonds for certified hiring for the position of teacher for the 26-27 school year.
Okay, I'll second. All right, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Any board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
aye.
Aye. All right, 8.02.
Okay, another seasonal hire, recommending Ethan Emerson for the summer.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the seasonal hire of Ethan Emerson for summer 2026.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Any board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, extracurricular.
You want,
Yeah, sure. So I'd like to bring Emily Vincent to the board as the middle school National Junior Honor Society sponsor.
Okay,
I I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the extracurricular hire of Emily Vincent as FBMS NJHS sponsor for the 26-27 school year.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Any board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Aye. All right, 8.04.
All right. I'd like to bring to the board for a higher position, a rehire, actually non-affiliated adult education coordinator, Janelle Asbury, for the upcoming 26-27 school year at a salary of $4,500.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves to rehire Janelle Asbury as the non-affiliated adult education coordinator for the 26-27 school year, as presented.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Any board?
This was always a co-sponsor position. Are we looking for another one or?
I agreed to take on some of the duties that Jewel was doing, just as far as she was doing some of the deposits.
Mhm.
So I said Janelle agreed if she could get the deposits ready and collected, then I would do that part. And so I think they felt like then one person could.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to Janelle. She thought she could do it that way. Yep.
Okay. Anything else? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb? Aye. Aye. 8.05, Technology Director.
Yeah, this is a discussion item I'd like to bring to the board. As far as the tech director position being reestablished, I've got that is at a recommended salary of $70,000. And I've got both job descriptions here because currently we have a tech supervisor, but they do quite a bit of the work of a tech director, which really, when you look at that, the way it's been done, Evan actually was doing a lot of the tech director type of work, and he would collaborate with me. But when you look through some of these things, there's a lot of oversight needed in this position. So when you look at it, it's the financials, it's the grant, it's out of the realm of the supervisor. And I know we were working towards that. Steve and I talked about that with Evan, and he was working on some of this proposal. It kind of got handed off to Peyton. So the things that are on there, if you've noticed, financial and grant management, coal board, vendor and contract management. So it's really overseeing like a lot of the budgets and the monies and how things are spent, overseeing the whole department. It's truly a director. It's actually probably a little even more so like an admin position, because to make those decisions, they need to be in the job description this way, which it's not. And so it really falls on me to my position, and knowing a lot about what tech needs is not probably my best suited area. So, you know, Evan and I, basically, he would bring it all to me. He would do all the work. We would just discuss, and I'd say yes, no on certain purchases like the e-grants this year and what we're going to use it for or not use it. And I know you guys heard from us on that too. So it's more of an oversight, because if we don't have this position, then we're going to end up having to contract quite a bit of it out. Because if we keep it just to the supervisor position, you can look at that now and turn, let's go back. The supervisor, that tab. You're going to see this is more just the day-to-day work. You're really troubleshooting, working on the systems. Not that there isn't work on the systems too with the director, but the director isn't really required to do any in the supervisor position of what I was just bringing up to the board. So that would move, and we would have that one to one of our tech persons right now, so they could do the supervisor position, and then they would actually supervise somebody else on the tech team, but then the tech director would be over everybody. But again, when we were starting to look at moving things out of the middle school, right? The big projects, contact and range, going through the phone systems, how much are those gonna cost? How are we gonna do it? What do we need as a district for our infrastructure? That's a director job. And right now we have a supervisor doing it. So I just really felt like, and again, it's been some talks with Evan too, the last few months of moving this into that area. Because I know some of the things that he ended up dealing with, he didn't know he was gonna have to deal with. It kind of came up to him, like the E-grants and some of those things, because he knows it was a little bit beyond for him too, and he was good enough to do it. But I know he was also feeling like it was out of his job description. So I think we really need to look at that and talk about it. And Peyton's here, he can tell you more in depth some of those jobs and details, but that's why I wanted to have it here for a discussion item.
And did we find the original tech director? We're just reinstating that position?
You know, I've learned there was one at one time,
Mhm.
but I think that goes back quite a few. So no, I didn't really look at that. I would think it's,
I guess my only concern is that we have a small staff.
Mhm.
And I just want to make sure that if we have a director, they are still hands-on.
yeah,
Like, I don't want somebody to
just sit back and.
sit
no.
back and direct
Right,
everybody
like I said,
else.
they're still gonna be doing a lot of the work.
Yeah.
They're also gonna be doing all those big things,
Right,
and they would have to collaborate with me so often to get it done, yeah. Right.
So can we make this a non-affiliated position? Does it have to be an admin position?
directors are admins.
Mhm. That would be preferred, by me anyway, so that they can make those kinds of decisions, even with evaluations and whatnot, so.
Okay.
No.
And then if we do reinstate this position or add this position, because I believe we've had these conversations before with, like when we want to look at a dean of students and stuff, it has to be opened up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we put reestablish on there, so we could discuss that tonight too, yeah.
No, but I mean, if we approve this position, then it has to be
Advertising,
advertised.
right, yeah.
Okay. And I don't know if this job description can be changed or if we have to approve it as is, but
No, you don't, no, not tonight.
I like so the job description is fluid, that can be, okay, so we're
Yeah.
just reinstating the position
Right,
itself.
and this was just for discussion tonight to look this over.
Okay,
Yeah, no action on it, but yeah.
I just would like it to mirror the supervisor position a little bit more, where when it talks about
Mhm.
experience and/or education in computer operation and networking, like some of that stuff, but beefed up a little bit.
And I would just add too, if we do make it an admin position, then some of that experience and education should be added too, just to make sure,
Mhm.
like pay scale, all that, because admin's a big jump, but I agree. And that was my other concern too, it's just, if it's new position or a reinstated position, to re-advertise. So,
So would we have to talk about the salary for both positions? For a tech supervisor and the tech director?
No, tech supervisor currently is non-affiliated. Those are negotiable.
Okay.
I think there's a base, okay, so we have a base of 25 an hour, but those, our non-affiliated positions are negotiable with the superintendent and whoever's being hired at the time, and then he brings it to the board.
Okay.
And then, do we have base admin salaries right now? So
No, I
they're
have what
just-
you gave me from like 3 or 4 years back.
Right, but
Trying
we
to
don't
use
have
that.
we don't have an approved principal-based salary so I think if we just approve the position and then you can firm up the job description and post it, then that's a negotiable salary depending on
Mhm.
education experience.
Yep.
And then you would negotiate that salary and bring it to us.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I move,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the proposal to reestablish the technology director position.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Any board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, fiscal year 27 contracted services.
Okay, yeah, we've got some contracted services here that Jen Arneson, our special ed director, has gone through and would be presenting them tonight if she's here, talk about it a little bit, but I'll just go through them real quick. I'd like to recommend for occupational therapist, Erica Norland. You want me to do all of them or all together?
Yeah,
I think
we
so.
take them
We
Okay,
normally
I
take them
thought so,
together.
yeah. Speech language pathology, Jessica Dilworth, school psychologist, Steve Willis, and Sonia McNeish, and physical therapy, Colstrip Medical Center.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the following contract services for the 26-27 school year. Just Erica Norland, occupational therapy, Jessica Dilworth, speech language pathology, Steve Willis and Sonia McNeish, school psychologist, and Colstrip Medical Center, physical therapy.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this? Any board?
I do want to note that there was a slight increase in some of these contract prices.
Yep.
But nothing major that was concerning to me.
Francis? Aye. Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. 8.07, year-end fund transfers.
So this is my request, since we have that one meeting in July. I don't normally know what my end of year transfers are going to be at that time. And so I come to you guys every year and ask for the authority to go ahead and make the operating transfer at the end of the year that I need to.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees grants permission to the business manager to make end-of-year operating transfers as necessary.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Aye. 8.08, MSGIA.
This is our, gosh, drawing a blank. Property and liability insurance. We had an increase of 12,978 from last year. Basically, if you guys click on that, let me get there. I was gonna that with you guys. So you guys can kind of see what our total will do. We're still really high up there, and that is due to the gym mostly. So our premium is $353,916. So that is split between, high school and elementary budget, but we're still pretty high up there. And they look at the last 5 years. So I wanted to point out that 2025, we had 0. And then this year, on page, what page am I on? 5? It kind of shows for this year that the total we've incurred so far is 510, and that is due to litigation. So I just wanted to be clear with that and point that out to you guys, that that's not technically property damage. That isn't any claims against any property, but that is what that is on there. So we've actually done pretty good, I would say, to go from a year of 0 to then have just that, and that probably will carry over into 2027 because that's not done. So we'll have a little bit of that that's going to affect our increase a little bit. So I won't be surprised if it goes up a little bit again next year. But I thought the increase was manageable this year compared to last year.
So is that 510, is that a placeholder or is that money we've spent?
That's
Or that
money
they've
that
spent
they
on
have
us.
been invoiced. So the money that they have paid out is that 186 so far. but the money that they have been invoiced for and what we ultimately, not us ultimately,
They owe
They.
on our behalf.
is 510 so far.
Okay. I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the fiscal year 27 MSGIA property and liability insurance renewal as presented.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this? Any board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Aye. All right, workers' comp renewal.
Workers' comp, pretty straightforward. We don't get a choice there. So that is just our renewal. We had our lowest year in the last 4 years on how many claims we did have. Let me click on that one too, so I can kind of walk you guys through that one too. I don't care about the first part, but you can see on page 4 that I'm on. In 2006, we had 8 occurrences for $789, which isn't too bad. And it kind of shows you how many, and this is even if we file a claim and someone cuts their finger, that gets added into that number of how many claims we have. But then sometimes the claim doesn't substantiate to a financial cost. So I feel like this last year we did really well. They also go off of, they'll show you kind of where most of the losses are by job classification and by what kind of accident it was. So we have a lot of slips, trips, and falls. And a lot of that's slips, trips, and falls. So maybe somebody slipped on the ice or.
Is this for staff and students, everybody?
Not students, but our staff. Mm-hmm. So teachers are the highest, but they're the biggest numbers. So that one is going to be obvious. So I just kind of wanted to point that out to you. And then we have the reporting lag ends up affecting our rate. And we did really good this last year. Kudos to Morgan for the time that she's put into that, because it says from the time we get it to the time we report is 0.13 days. So that means she's on top of it. So in the past, we've been a little bit more, lagging there, but we get a better rate the faster we report it. So that was good to see as well.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the fiscal year 27 renewal of the MSGIA Workers' Compensation Program.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public? Any board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. 8.10, Mutual of Omaha.
So we approved already to make the switch to Bridge. We had just changed to Mutual Omaha last year, so it wasn't when insurance committee was meeting, we didn't even know if Bridge was going to take on some of these life insurance and supplemental life insurance. And so we couldn't make the decision to switch over to Bridge. And so we just switched over to Mutual Omaha last year, and we did a lot of work to get that. So that's what we want the recommendation to renew is to do that. Even though now we have got some info from Bridge, our rates are locked in with Mutual of Omaha until 2027. So at that point, I would suggest that maybe the insurance committee is going to want to look at just making it all with Bridge and making it very seamless. So for now, I just recommend that we stick with what we got. Okay.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the Mutual of Omaha for group life, group long-term disability, and voluntary life for the 26-27 school year.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this? Any board? Francis? Aye. Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 8.11, insurance benefits.
I brought this at the last work session and you guys wanted it brought back. So it basically is just removing enrollment dates that were specified in there so that, because those are fluid every year depending on the calendar we choose. And then just lining up the renewal dates with the deductible and switching over to bridge. They're gonna allow us to go from September to August now. So
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the changes to policy 5331, insurance benefits for employees as presented.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this? Any board? Francis? Aye. Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. 8.12. Policy 4330, 30F, and 30P.
Okay, yeah, these are policies that, like it says here, were brought last year in March, but we didn't adopt or change anything, but now we have some more verbiage, some more wording from the model policies, but really kind of got this going was the discussion about policy, our policy, the current one, 4330 on community use of school facilities, the part about proof of insurance. And there was discussion, emails sent to me, sent to Brittany about, do we want to keep charging the insurance when it's a funeral, when it's something to that effect? And we have, our policy says proof of insurance may be required, but then the form actually, there's some differences, does require it. So we really like the form 4330 because that's all included in the red lettered one, which would be the model policy 4330F. Ours is really close to their model policy. Ours is actually pretty good, stepped out, I think, a little bit better, able to understand everything's in there that we need except for that piece. So we just wanted to bring it up as a whole for the new form, or maybe change their model policy, but for sure have that discussion as far as the insurance, because I can waive the deposit, I can waive the fees, the rental fees, but we've been pretty careful to always charge the insurance. And I think it was like $25 was all for $1 million of insurance.
I think it might be a little more than
More
that.
now?
I did ask someone, because I don't actually have to do that, but I think it's more maybe like $60 is what
Okay.
someone had came back to me and said it cost them to get a liability. And MSGIA has said it's still a
We should.
liability, but it's really hard. I totally understand for a funeral to, how do you go back to that family and say,
Yeah.
we need to get insurance for you to have it here? So I get the frustration, I really do, but it's, we found some consistencies and it just needs to be ironed out. So whatever if you guys want to make, adjustments there and you want to allow for it to waive that for certain events, that's what we need to get added to the policy. If you don't, then we need to take out that may, if that makes sense to you guys.
I think you need the insurance, period.
I agree, it's not a huge cost. I mean, it is hard to ask for in certain times, but
It also covers us.
I mean, we just looked at that one insurance where we have all that litigation.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and the last time it came up, last time or two, once they knew how much it cost, it wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were willing once they found out.
Well, and if it's a general practice, more people know about it.
Yeah, and I've waived the deposit and the fees a few times now since I've been here, just a year and a half, for those kinds of things. So that does help,
Well, I don't think there's any question. We need to keep the
the
insurance
insurance.
and tell people as gently as possible. And when you go for a funeral anyway, you have a lot of costs. There's a lot of things you have to run into, even if it's hard.
Things can happen still.
Things happen.
So do you guys want to put something together that's final for us to approve?
Okay.
Okay.
This was just for discussion. We didn't
Yeah.
put something together till we knew if you guys wanted to.
We've been
do
working
that.
on
Okay.
that, so.
And I think, did we have to add swimming pool stuff specifically to ours?
that was,
I think we did, didn't we?
it's in.
I know we've talked about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I read that in one of these.
What I've gone off of is that if it doesn't fall under adult ed, which is usually a birthday party,
Mm-hmm.
if it doesn't fall under those lines, like we had someone ask if they could come in and use the pool while there was a wrestling meet. Well, that's outside of the parameter of adult ed. So that is you're asking to use our facilities, we ask for insurance. And that's even if it's approved by the building principal and the superintendent. But that's how we've handled the pool.
So you do ask for that for birthday parties?
Not birthday parties because it falls under adult ed.
Okay,
Yeah,
So
it's on the second page.
okay, that's what I was
Swimming
wondering.
pool, the kitchen,
Okay.
yeah, the adult ed is worded here.
We'll just have to make sure to keep that part.
Yeah, it covers a lot. It was that one piece.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
8.13, CCA MOU.
All right, take that. Papers. You had it, Connie? Okay, it's all your show now.
Hi, all
Your
right.
turn.
I'm
Everybody's
Connie
getting their
Mack
first
with
turn.
Colstrip Classified Association. We have an MOU in agreement that runs out at the end of this month. And in that agreement, we were supposed to be getting data from the school and also having a meeting on that data, none of which took place. So we're just asking for an 1-year extension on that MOU. And we put in that our meeting would take place no later than September 30th. And Mr. Otrim and I discussed that, how it would give his people time to get that data together for us.
Okay.
So that's what we're asking for.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the recommended changes to the CCA MOU as presented.
Second. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this? Any board? Francis? Aye. Sabrina?
Aye.
Barb?
Aye.
Okay. 8.14, CTE course approval.
Okay, got some courses. Nicole Christian had brought these to our attention and she presented at steering committee. So the information is under steering committee agenda that she presented. But it went over exceedingly well because we're gaining money for Perkins, grant money. Our kids are going to get credit, dual credit. They're going to get this on their transcripts, and it's at health-related occupations that she's endorsed to teach in. So it's not going to probably be a big, large amount of kids, but it really helped the kids that are looking in those fields. So she's actually able to have these kids in her classroom doing things online. Of course, there's some of you'll see in the descriptions if you read through those, the field experiences and everything they get, so they can come out of high school with these endorsements and get a job. So I'll just present down the list. The first one is exploration of healthcare occupations, 14001, and 14103, 03053, anatomy and physiology, honors human biology. I'm gonna skip the numbers if that's okay. Medical terminology, certified nursing assistant, the CNA, certified medical assistant, CMA, dental assisting, and therapeutic services work-based experience, I'm sorry. So we won't be paying, we will get funded for them.
And she's facilitating those classes?
Yeah,
Through like
right.
an online program?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd just like to say, I really like seeing this. My former job was workforce for healthcare careers, and just the state, our population aging, this is one of the most in-demand careers for students, and so it's really nice to see them get a leg up and begin to enter that field right out of high school. So,
yeah.
And Mrs. Christian takes kids every year to go do like observations in different medical offices.
I've seen her do this.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
really cool. I think the kids really like it.
Yeah, she's really excited. She's got some kids really excited, and we're gonna start getting more and more of these. That's our hope, so.
By more and more of these, you mean more classes like what?
Where our kids are endorsed, like one's gonna be the welding that we're gonna be looking at through Miles City.
Good.
Yeah, and Mr. Bailey knows a few of the others, but that's the one that I talked to Ron Slinger about from Miles Community College, so.
What about mechanics?
I don't know about that yet, where that is.
So welding is the only other one that would mostly be boys, but it can be girls too.
Oh, yeah,
That's the only other one you're thinking of?
right now. That's been spoken to me about, but I'll pass this off to Mr. Bailey real soon. And he's pretty excited about CTE stuff, so.
Cool.
But this was what was brought to my attention this last semester.
Well, when we did when everybody presented here, there was something for freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
Mhm.
But I think the sooner we can tell these students that freshman, sophomore, just to tell about it,
Mhm.
it gives them some hope
Yeah,
that it's happening, it's gonna happen.
my former guidance counselor life, it'd be great because we build 4-year plans for students. And I know we've been talking about that, starting at the 8th grade, possibly this year, so.
Oh, that sounds great, but I'm just kind of blows through, and yeah, like even younger exposure to careers and things like that, so. It'd be cool to have some of these students go talk to the elementary or kind of little show and tell what they're learning or something, so. It's exciting.
Yeah. My former life I was a career counselor, and there's a lot of things you can do even at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, I think it's amazing what those kids can do at that age. And the students we have graduating now that, like some of them are going right into flight school.
Mhm.
And they're a little bored
We had some students working on that this year.
Yeah. here, so they
Yeah.
need to up what we offer. And this is a great start.
Yeah, just hats off to Nicole. I mean, she's really done a lot of legwork. Chris McManus got me involved with OPI in a couple different Zoom conferences, one a couple months ago, then one just this last week. So, yeah, Chris knows a lot of the people in charge of these things, so it's been helpful.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the high school CTE courses for the 26-27 school year as presented.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this? Marietta, go ahead.
Hi, just a general question. I know in the past, the board has said that classes need to have, at least elective classes, need to have 7 students enrolled, or you'd prefer up to at least 7 students enrolled, excuse me. Is that still a thing for the upcoming year?
I think it sounds like this is something that she can have multiple kids doing multiple things at a time in her room.
Yeah.
And so that would work great, I think. It sounds, because
Yeah, that's
it's not
It's
gonna
gonna
be.
be an
the setup.
online thing, right?
Yeah.
She wouldn't have a class of like 1 kid,
Yeah.
6th period, or 2 kids, 5th period. It'd be her other classes, and then she'd have 1 or 2 in there doing their online work and then helping coordinate their work experiences.
Okay, thank you. That was just a question that was brought to me.
Yeah, thanks, Marietta. Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Got my own. Oracle and Cisco offer IT courses through OPI as well, through this program.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
Good, that would be good.
That'd be really good.
We should look at that.
Presented at the curriculum meeting.
When's the next curriculum?
Whenever.
Huh? I want to go. I don't know when it is.
Okay, anything else? Okay, Francis.
Aye.
Sabrina.
Aye.
Barb.
Bye.
Aye. 8.15, disposal of school property without a vote.
Yeah, we need to go through and talk about some of these things because Mr. Bailey's got his in here and a method as far as the selling of these items. FBMS. Let me see, I'll click on FBMS. There's some things that I noticed in here that we might want to have Katie Nozier, the new curriculum director, kind of review and see what we have for materials. There's several math textbooks on here. And, you know, we don't have pricing, we don't have a sale yet. So on that one, I'd really like to see us hold off for a little while to just have Katie go through those when she gets in as curriculum director, you know, in August, so that she can make some decisions and really go through those if they might be needed. Jump back here. Okay. I think the high school, she has a sale, the date to be determined later. So we don't have that one as far as when to sell the items. That still needs to be done. And then Rich has on there the football helmets, but I don't really think you probably need to have them on here because I know you explained to me.
Correct, you can't sell helmets because they're liability issues, so we've been destroying them, cutting them in half and getting rid of them because they're liability issues.
Yeah, we just wanted to inform the board of that, but that's what Rich is gonna keep doing. Not gonna sell
No, sir.
them. Speaking of liability, right? All right, where are we at with, did I miss any of the schools? I think I got them all. So we're ready with one. We want the middle, that's the elementary. Middle, we want a review by the curriculum director, and high school is gonna have to just set a date to get theirs sold.
Okay,
And does the principal do that?
Yeah,
okay, that's what I was,
Yeah.
Is Bart
so we'll
gonna
have to wait for
do, is
that.
he gonna do both schools right now? Or are we waiting?
I don't know if he can. He's off contract, so.
Oh,
So why are you wanting to do this without a vote? Is that what this is asking for?
so it means without a vote of our taxpayers. So we don't have to take this and have ballots sent out to
No,
everybody.
I thought it said a vote.
That's
without a
what it
vote
means,
With the
though.
board.
No, it means without a vote of our district taxpayers.
But the board will vote on
Yes, the
Yes.
board votes on it. There's a policy that it,
it. Did they have, before, did it go out to the people?
well, like when we wanted to dispose of Isabel bills, that had to go to a vote. There's certain items that can be done without a vote, and that's these.
Yeah, I get it.
And she put what policy it is there, 7251.
Okay,
So if you read that one, should make it make sense.
I'll get right to it.
Oh, you got that book right there?
I know.
Good.
Thank you, Brittany.
You're welcome.
Your muscles.
That's right, I need those.
So you want us to also hold off on CHS then?
Yeah.
Okay,
So just the Pine View
Just,
one.
just the one ready to go.
okay. I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the disposal of the obsolete inventory items presented as per policy 7251, dispose of school district property without a vote for Pine Butte Elementary School.
Second. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Okay, Francis. Aye. Sabrina.
Aye.
Barb.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. 9.01, administrative reports. I didn't have any questions on any of them. Did anybody else?
So for these, they just put them in there for us to read, and then if we have any questions, then we can ask them if any of them are here, but nobody's here tonight for those. But if you have any questions on them, we could ask Scott too, and he can try to answer them if you need clarification on anything.
It's just kind of like what they've been doing in their departments and.
Yeah. Well, so do you have these, you guys have these ahead of time of today? Usually,
Yes, they're on the agendas.
48 hours, we have to post within 48 hours.
And Becca emailed, I think all of us that she had posted it online. So you can access this website from any computer. And then you can use your login if you want.
Okay.
for the executive content, or you can see what everybody else sees. So this is all available to the public.
Okay, does anybody have any questions on that? No? Okay. Mr. Rowe, you're up.
Okay, end of the year review. Started with last summer. Brittany and I kind of did a lot of restructuring in the central office. Can't believe it's already been a year, but we had HR person resign. So then we kind of looked at what can we do and how can we do it. We thought Chris would be the best one to take over HR. So I twisted her arm and she gave up the executive secretary, and that went to we've got two different people in there, but we combined that, the AP and executive secretary, accounts payable. We felt like there was some time there that AP had so that they could fulfill the executive secretary duties. We left payroll. I know Brittany's done a lot with training these people. Was doing 2 jobs there for a while, and we didn't have one job and we didn't have another one, so she did 3 for a while. So we thank her for doing all that. And then Chris has been helping a lot, break into the 2 new people as well. The big thing as far as trainings last summer, took all the admin team to the Jeremy Bullock Safe Schools Summit in Billings. And from there, we just really, I know for me anyway, it was a big initiative to make our schools safer and really start working on those things. And you guys have heard about Navigate 360 that we brought in, and they've got the panic buttons. Peyton and I are working on those. I should say Peyton's working on those. I've been talking to him about it, and anyway, getting those in place soon, how to do all that for next year. A new safety manual. We had the intruder drill training, which they hadn't had here. That Dallas hadn't had it here at all, I don't think. They've had different type of safety trainings like that, but not the one that's pretty well known and used in most schools now, the Alice drill training. And that was on site. Let's see. We had a motivational speaker at the beginning of the year, Lavana Roth, Ignite Your Shine. And I know there's a lot of people that stayed and talked to her afterwards. And so it was a really good motivator. Let's see, for all the staff, that was a staff from the beginning of the year. The same day, it was kind of neat because I had gotten a message from Grand Canyon University, and they had a rep out of Billings. And so we brought her in, and she just wanted to be in the lobby, but she got 3 of our people going, getting 35% off discount to work towards their teaching degrees. So she spoke to the pairs and the classified people, and so that program got going right at the beginning of the year too. Y'all know we only had 1 bus driver that retired, so we worked hard, and we lost kids, and it was just a really, really difficult time last fall. We've bounced back. We got 2 drivers, a maintenance worker right now working on getting the CDL, and we have another person that I think we'll be bringing to the board on the next meeting as a driver too. So people stepped up, and it did take quite a bit of work, but we've got drivers and things in place there. So that's just really, really good news. At this time last year, we knew it was getting kind of scary, right? With busing kids from Lame Deer and all around. So let's see. The bond passed. So you guys know about that. We've got a lot of construction going on. And playground is supposed to I think that was supposed to start today, but we had weather and whatnot. The sports complex is underway. The bathrooms are underway. So they're right on schedule. We have meetings with them. I just had one yesterday, so they bring us up to speed every week. Curriculum director stepped down, so I've been doing my best to wear that hat too this year. So we did rehire, and she'll be in place. She's actually doing some work for us right now. She and Mr. Bailey and some teachers are out of training today, so the last couple of days. Let's see. Mrs. Artis and I went to the School Administrators of Montana, the fall conference. It was at that conference where we heard about capturing kids' hearts. The state wanted to bring them in. It was the first time the state had brought them in. And we really feel like it's going to be one of our main initiatives that are going to really help our kids build relationships with staff, with each other. You guys have heard the testimonies from the teachers that went, and just all the different things that they say they're going to do as far as helping us in some of our weak areas, improve achievement, lessen discipline referrals, improve teacher retention. And if you remember when I presented that, they keep track of the data. We'll have a small team working with them. And so they'll be letting us know and meeting with us what we need to do. If one of these areas is still weak, they're going to help us review, like, why are you still having discipline referrals? Or why are you having of this nature? Or why are your achievement scores low? What can you do? So rather than just have us do their program, which is going to be a 2-day training for our staff when they come back in August, and also all the athletics are going to be adopting. I took Rich along, and he really liked it too. So I think just all around, we're going to see it all the schools. It's going to be seamless. So we're going to all have our teachers, staff doing the same things with our kids. Some discipline measures in there too that I know the teachers that went have already been using them. So I can't say that I'm good about it right now. So we're just gonna do our best, roll up our sleeves, and get to it in August. Let's see, a PDW day was used to begin work on curriculum alignment. We started that. I think that one was the January one. Anyway, then we started the Title IX training for all, which I'm going to be bringing in a speaker for that in September. And then also we're going to have all training for all the staff, including coaches. I've been talking to Rich about that even today, getting that in place. Community meeting, kind of things that a lot of you guys are involved in. We discussed thoughts on closing down FBMS. So that's going to be something I know that I'm supposed to keep working on and planning in case that does happen, and look at steps to get in place as far as phasing that in, if that is going to be a go. Let me see, deadlines. I just covered that. A great deal of time was put into working on a 4-day calendar, and I did look back. I know because there's some discussion of starting earlier to look at that for this coming year. And I did meet in September. The first meeting last year was in September. And we had 4 community meetings, or 4 staff meetings, team meetings, committee meetings, before we did bring that to the board. So then we'll keep working on that. And we welcome Peyton as a new tech supervisor just recently. Graduation, 35 students. FBMS promoted 32 students. So wrapped up the year, lots of spring concerts, lots of things that were going on, typical May in a school district. So with some good happenings, some good events if you took part in those. There you have it.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So did we recover any students that we lost because of the bus driver debacle? Have we recovered any of those students?
The out of districts that I would have to go back and look at names, because I just was going by the numbers when we got those. So I haven't looked at names yet, but I would say we got some back. Yeah. I couldn't give you a number though.
Did they have to reapply, or did they just say, okay, we have a bus driver now, I can come back?
Everybody has to reapply once they go out of district, even if they're in district here for us, but they're not a district student. Every year they have to reapply.
And then did they come back to us for next year, or did they come back during this year?
We didn't bring any back during this year, no.
But some have reapplied.
Because once they leave, then they're out for that year, then they have to wait to reapply.
And do you think, is there anything that we could have done better or different during that time?
I don't know. I don't really think so. I think Rich, he could attest to that. We interviewed people, we had people, some people interested, but then back out, not complete applications. We worked pretty hard on it. I can't really
I think it
think
just comes down to a human resource. We just didn't have the bodies to drive a bus for a
And
while.
we're still pretty thin. And we're gonna try to bring somebody before y'all, the next board meeting, as a bus driver, like Mr. Trevor said, but we're still thin. And to get people to drive a bus in a a town where their CDL can get them more money at the mine or the plethora of things, it's going to continue to be an issue, whether it's me or somebody else.
And it isn't just here, you know, when
Yeah,
I,
all that.
yeah, it's a national problem. I had it in Wyoming, all over when I was down there. We have it here. When I go to the superintendent meetings in Miles City, they talk about that they have it. You know, we just not able to pay them, and they have split shifts, and like where we live, there's such long drives, you know, it's a tough job. It's a lot of hours too.
I know you say nationally, well, isn't there a solution nationally? Can't we pay bus drivers more? Isn't there some way nationally? And
So
not just here.
For us, I know that it's part of the union contract,
Yeah,
and it has to be bargained, and that was not.
We talked about it for a long time in negotiations.
Yeah,
yeah.
So you'd have to go outside of our district to hire bus drivers in
So if you go,
that aren't in the union?
we looked at, you could go with First Student that Billings uses in
Yeah.
some other districts. It's very expensive. They're not the only people you can contract, but to contract that type of work is very expensive. So, and it's a split shift job.
What was it, after 3 years or 2 years, they could up the price too? Remember that? It was,
If we went with contract with them, with whether the length of the contract with First Student was 3 years or 5 years, then they renegotiated with you. Well, at that time, they've got you pretty good because you don't have any drivers
Yeah,
or
got
so
your
don't have
buses.
buses, and they supply those, and you don't have any means of transportation, and then pretty much you're at their mercy of what they want to charge you. So even though that other bigger districts around, when I'm traveling around, now I'm kind of looking at who drives the bus, what the bus saying and stuff. The bigger districts do it. I'm not sure about the smaller districts. I do know this, y'all go somewhere this summer for vacation or wherever we were driving. If you drive by a bus barn or something, everyone, whether it's in Montana, Wyoming, Texas, will have a sign on the bus, like all the way draped, says bus drivers wanted, we'll train you, all those type of things. So going back to what Mr. Travis said, it is a national problem, partly because of the type of job it is, being a split shift amongst other things. So
So are bus drivers considered classified? And so then they'd have to be willing to bargain higher salary for them.
So I don't know how much I can say, but in the bargaining, they're not the only position
unit, yeah.
that is
Yeah,
in
I know.
that, right? So if they're gonna get a raise, everybody has to get a raise. From,
Unless they'd be willing to give them a raise.
Right.
Yes.
And they're never,
now you're getting
no one's ever willing to do that. If we don't have bus drivers, if we don't have kids, we don't have school.
That's correct.
So
So,
one thing that we did do during negotiations was we created different levels of our maintenance positions. So if you have a bus driver certification with your CDL and you're a maintenance worker, you're gonna be like this level 3, which pays more, but you're required to drive bus if we need you. And then like level 2, the CDL without the bus endorsement, because we have that coal truck, I think we have to drive. And then level 1 was maintenance with no CDL or endorsement. So we did add those levels and kind of clarify them and increase those wages. And that also allows people to not have to work a split shift because they're maintenance as well.
yeah, we worked
So
that
that
out.
was something we,
well, that was kind of a good move.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's
Well, we got
something
real
we agreed
creative.
on.
Yeah, there's lots of ideas. I mean,
And right
that,
now, is it the Langer route, or that's most of last year, the second half, a maintenance worker drove that route. We have another maintenance worker that took his written test. He's going to take it again. When he completes that, then he'll go take his driving test. And so they're kind of like our backup drivers. So it's try to encourage them a lot to get that, the passenger and school bus endorsement of the CDL to enhance their pay. And that's kind of our fail-safe if a route driver gets sick or whatever happens. But, you know, we have one route driver right now. Like I said, hopefully we'll hire another one next time. And we're open to anybody who wants to get their CDL and be a bus driver. willing to,
Yeah, we pay
Help
for
you
it.
out.
help pay for it. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of work, you know. The board's been really supportive. Rich has been really creative and, you know, and Terry.
When
we're
did Rich
both-
start? When did you start?
I'm sorry,
When was your start date?
good question. The end of July.
Okay, the end of July. Yeah, right. Yeah, so. I was just wondering why you didn't get your own bullet point too on the report. We hired her.
I should have named a whole bunch. I just named the recent
Right.
ones. so.
That's a good ass school year. Just kidding. Sorry, guys.
We talked about him. We got hired football coach too, so be hearing his name a lot.
Yeah, no, I like what Rich is doing. I like the culture he's creating. He has my trust, and yeah, I'm very just thankful that you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
Same opinion, but you know, it's one of those tough situations that he's walking into, and he's
Yeah.
taking it by
You
Head
walked
on.
right in.
Yeah.
Yep, we did.
so.
Okay, do we have anything else? No? All right,